And yeah, gosh.
I think we're live now on Facebook.
Already
everybody.
have it going.
All right, everybody. As soon as you hear that music, we will be live.
About that. Clicking all these buttons, trying to figure out what I did.
Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed with mediums Kelly Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy. Over the next hour, you'll hear engaging conversations that will guide you in your own journey of personal growth and transformation. Now, here are your hosts, Kelly Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed. This is such a great show. I feel so honored to be a host with you today. I want to introduce you to my colleague, Kelly Eckhart. And Kelly, how are you today?
I am great, but not as good as you sitting over there in Hawaii.
That's right. I'm in aloha, everyone. I am in Maui, Hawaii, and it's a beautiful day in paradise, I have to say. So, of course, no worries here. But I do want to introduce Kelly to everyone, Kelly Eckhart, but also I want to introduce, we have another Kelly today. We have Kelly Brickel. And if I could just tell you a little bit about Kelly Brickel, it's amazing, our topic for today. It's called Numerology through Vibrational Numbers. So very interesting show today, all about numbers and vibration. And we'll be doing readings later on in the program. But if I could tell you a little bit about Kelly Brickel, she is a certified psychic medium, healer, numerologist, and teacher. Kelly's passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there is always a pathway to a multitude of information waiting to help. And with that, I want to welcome everyone and introduce you to Kelly Brickel. We're so honored that you're a part of our show today. Thank you for being a guest with us today.
Absolutely. I'm honored to be here. I want to say like mahalo because you're in Hawaii.
Absolutely. Mahalo. Thank you, Kelly. Well, go ahead, Kelly.
Well, I was going to say, I'm just so excited about the show. So I was on, Kelly does a show every Wednesday as well, right before ours. So you guys have to check it out.
Oh my gosh.
And I just wanted to give it a plug real quick, right in the beginning. What's the name of your show again, Kelly? Tell everybody.
Thank you so much, Kelly. The Psychic Hour. Yes.
So she's on at 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock Pacific time.
Correct. You guys need to definitely check her out. She does a great show. I was honored to be on it last week. I also am just so excited because numerology is one of my most favorite subjects. I love numbers. I get numbers all the time. I don't practice numerology. I go to other people who are experts and get info off of their sites, but I might learn it one day from Kelly. But it is an amazing subject and I'm so excited. And I just would love for you to share with everybody how you got started and how you felt, because I know you're also a psychic, a medium, a healer, like you do it all. So how did you get started, first of all, on your spiritual journey, and what brought you to numerology?
I have a lot of Gemini energy, so that's why sometimes I'm always researching or putting my fingers in too many jars. That's why. Numerology was really one of my first loves when learning about energy. I had already had tremendous interest in psychic and mediumship and meditation. And I was just curious what the world of modalities were about, like astrology, numerology, even card reading. I'm like, well, is that a thing? Because if you're tapping into source and, you're connected to spirit, you're connected to your soul, well, how do the other things come into play? So I was kind of just scouring when I was a teenager, the internet and books, and a lot of books and things on the internet were very confusing. I think to this date, there's a lot more clear information and resources because people have filtered out and stepped in and become astrologists and numerologists and just fantastic about what they do. And so you could probably, like for instance, Cafe Astrology, you go on it, there's some decent, terminology and learnings on there, and that's a standard site. And it's been modified a lot over the years, and it's just become better and better. And you can, research your own chart, numerology wise and astrology wise online. And so there's these wonderful resources. But back in the day, there was just kind of these basic explanations and number definitions where if you were learning about it, you'd kind of be confused as you were learning about it. You'd be like, okay, well, like 1 through 9, and the definition of 1 is this, the definition of 2 is this, but how does that correlate to a whole entire person and their life path and who they are, right?
Yes.
And so it took a lot of personal research on my part. And what I really dove into and fell in love with was I would take birth dates of like people in the public, because they were easy to like learn about and track, like
yes.
let's say like Lucille Ball or Lady Gaga or
Good,
the president, right? Because you
Yeah.
know their birth date. And there would just be certain commonalities with what careers that they would have, their personalities, their vibe, the way they would communicate, if they were outgoing, if they were, more just to themselves. And I would do so with like people that I would know too around me. And I would notice that like nurses had a lot of 6 in their charts, or lawyers would have like a predominance usually of 2 in their charts. Not always the case, but there'd just be this predominance of number patterns showing up within who a person was. And I'm like, there's something to this. This is really cool. And when I find an author that I like that teaches me about numerology and I feel it in my heart and I apply it to just learning about people, there is a definite correlation. And that's what got me really excited. And so I'd always kind of practice it on the side as I was learning about spirituality in general. So it was like a hobby on the side. Does that make sense? And then
yes.
I liked it so much, and it kind of taught me so much about energy that I just was like, okay, I do it so much, so why not do this as something in the forefront as well?
Well, I have another question. Sorry, Cheryl, I'm just mistalkative today.
You just
Go ahead.
So with the numerology, and you're talking about, their charts, kind of like, do you tie it together? Do you do astrology, like the astrological chart too, or do you see a pattern with our birth dates having, the numerology having to do with astrology?
Yeah, they coincide. So, like for instance, Vedic astrology. I don't do Vedic astrology, but they take numerology and astrology, like all in correlation. And so, Vedic is Indian astrology.
Yes.
Though they use those hand in hand, absolutely. When I'm looking at someone's numbers, just focus on the Pythagorean numerology, which is a Western type of numerology. And if I happen to have someone's astrology as well, I can overlap it. And of course, it just gives me more information. Like if someone wants to give me more information about who they are, I'm happy to do it because I am familiar with astrology too. I just let them know, hey, this is a numerology reading. If you want, I can look at some other stuff too, if you'd like. But yes, I mostly do numerology, if that makes sense.
May I just say, Kelly, this was many years ago, but I saw you do a numerology reading. I was in the audience in Laguna Beach at Omen Garden.
Oh, yeah. I know.
You had a clipboard. Let me just tell you, you had a clipboard. It was amazing to watch you, Kelly, because you're an expert in your field in numerology. You took someone's birthday, and however you did it, hopefully you'll explain it to us and maybe do that with someone on the call today.
Or
You
me.
took their birth, or Kelly, and you took their birthday and you gave them such an accurate reading. It was amazing, just to tell you. I've seen you do this, and I've always wanted to know more about just your interest in numerology, because it can really help us understand about ourselves, right? I mean, numerology helps us understand our life path. As you mentioned, there's so many readings that can come out from numerology, whether our life path is a 3 or a 5 or a. So, I mean, can you just share with everyone what type of readings that are most popular that people ask for? What do you find yourself doing the most of?
Sure. So the way that I read at this point, because it's definitely shifted, because you can use numerology to really give so many different types of readings, especially when you know like how in-depthly that it can be applied to a person's life. Because we're talking about, you can go into their relationship, you can go into business, you can go into family dynamics, you can go into their future, you can go into their past, because depending on their yearly cycles, there's information how your life is going to go from year to year. You could break it down from every year that you're alive. Also, if you change your name, your chart changes. So someone's chart, ambitions, and personality is going to be influenced by how they say and put out their hand to a person. Hi, I'm this. Hi, I'm this energy. You're affirming to the world, I'm this way. I call myself and I carry this type of energy. Every letter, every word is comprised of numbers, is comprised of vibration. In numerology, every letter breaks down to a number. Yeah. Yes. So it's pretty powerful. So currently, I guess the most popular reading, to answer Cheryl, is someone gives me their core six, their birth date and their name, and I break it down into their core six numbers. And then I'm just very inspired to go with what I see within their chart. And then you can get a full chart reading too as well. But I'll look at people's numbers and I'm like, oh, away I go. Let's go. Let's talk about your life.
And just for everyone, Kelly Brickel is with us today on our radio show. Her website is energeticsessions.com. And also Kelly Brickel is on social media as well. I know you have Facebook page, Kelly. How do people reach you, like on Facebook or Instagram? Please, could you give those links, please, to us?
Yeah, sure. So you can find me on energeticsessions.com. And also I'm on the major platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn even, right? And you can just find me through Kelly Brickel. And actually, I have a class coming up for anyone who's interested. That will be on energeticsessions.com, and I'll be sharing more of that. And it's a numerology readings class, because there's not a lot of classes out there that actually teach you how to read.
Not.
Yes. So it goes over the basics of the numbers, and also it teaches and helps people practice how they can actually have a relationship with the energy and understand how the calculations work, not just to learn about them.
So, Kelly, I don't want to interrupt you, but we're going to take a short break here.
Go for it, yeah.
And we'll be back after this break. We're going to go a little bit early today, everybody. So everybody on Facebook, just be patient and bear with us, all right? And yeah, we're going to go on break right now. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay. Hey, real quick, Kelly Brickel, follow with me real quick. I figured out what happened, and I know what settings we need to change real quick, so we keep losing you. Back where you clicked on that little arrow.
Okay.
All right, click on that arrow, but don't click on anything except for the very bottom of that window where it says audio settings. Click on that, and it's going to open up a whole nother window for you.
Okay, got it. Yes.
Now you should have a big old pop-up window. And in the middle of that window, you should see in bold letters where it says microphone, and then test mic, input level, volume, and right under volume it says automatically adjust microphone.
Right under volume. Yes. Okay. Yes. So I have that clicked. I have it.
Okay. Uncheck that for me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, if that little volume slider right above that, you should be able to move that. Turn it up to, like, if you had a numbers, about a 9, 8 or a 9 there for me. I know there's no numbers, but just the closest thing you can get to that.
It's at 100%. So I have it to
okay, right there.
85
all right.
Right now.
Now, just underneath there's another thing that says suppress background noise. It's right underneath the one that you unchecked that said automatically adjust microphone.
Okay, got it. Yes, yeah. It's on auto right now.
Turn it to low for me.
Okay.
Cool. And we should be good right there.
Okay. And I just click advanced, or I just click to the side.
Yeah, you should just be able to close that window now. Okay. And then just be mindful that microphone seems like it's super sensitive. If you get away from it, we lose you for some reason. It just
Oh, okay.
All yeah. Right. So just be mindful of that. I do the same thing. I tend to kind of move around when I talk. So it's just, I gotta keep an eye on it. But otherwise we should be good to go.
Got it. Thank you for teaching me about it. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. And Cheryl, you are muted, just so you know.
Yep. Thank you, Josh.
No worries. Sorry for the early break and everything. I just wanted to try to get that back in line so all the callers and everybody can hear what you guys are saying.
Thank you.
Sure.
And we are coming back in just a few seconds.
You're listening to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed with Kelly and Cheryl. If you have questions for the hosts or guests, you can join us on the show at 888-346-9141. That's 888-346-9141. Now let's get back to the show. Here again are Cheryl and Kelly.
Welcome back. Yeah, Kelly, I'm going to let you take it from here, but we just want to say welcome back, everyone. We did an early break, but we're back now because we have the phone lines are going off. Email questions are coming in. Kelly, take it away. Do you want to give any contact information out, how people can call in or email us, please?
Kelly Brickel.
Kelly Eckhart.
Oh, you want me to go? Okay, yeah. Sorry. I'm like, which Kelly? So confusing to have all these Kellys. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you. Sorry we had to take a quick break, but we wanted to make the show even better. And now Kelly Brickel sounds amazing. And she was telling us about her class. And we're going to probably take some calls here in a few minutes. But I just wanted to ask Kelly a couple more questions before we take calls. So when we are going to take calls, we'll have the number posted on Facebook, and we'll say it out loud here too. But just one question more that I have to ask. So I am such a numbers freak. I have been my whole life. I don't know why I've never studied numerology. Now you're making me rethink my whole career here. But anyways, one of the things I've done since I was a kid, and since I've started to researching my own genealogy and my family tree, I've gone back to 1600, is notice, and this is my fanatic here, I noticed the patterns and birthdays in my family going back 400 years. We have a lot of April, September, and January births. And it's so interesting on both sides of the family, going back my mom's side and my dad's side. And I don't know, I mean, I just wonder like if there's a reason for that, or do you ever look at patterns and wonder about that in families?
Yeah, for sure. So with months, that sometimes is a correlation with astrology and with individual kind of number clusters with how they end up. That's a more I have a tongue twister like in me. That's a more numeral. I can't say all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, isn't that funny how it goes? That's more with numerology. So for instance, you might have a vastly different birth date, but you might find that your son or your husband, life path 2.
Right.
Like for instance, growing up, I would just take my friends' charts. Sometimes they wouldn't even know it because you know what I mean? I'd be like, let's, because I would learn about people around me. And I knew everyone's birthday. I always was really good with memorizing phone numbers, addresses, people's names, even at their birthday. If I heard it once as a kid, I mean, it would stick with me even to probably now. So I could just do it all on the side. And the majority of my friends, and I was blessed. I had a pretty large group of male and female friends, and most of them hung out together. They all had either a 7 life path or a 2 life path number. And they had very similar attitude numbers too. So, and it's true, people with similar numbers flock together. And so what that would showcase with, whether it's like, you were talking about, there was a lot of April or birthdays, for instance, then there's a lot of Aries maybe in your family, or a lot of Virgo in your family.
A lot of Aries, Libras, and Capricorns. And Cancers. Those are the 4. Going back 400 years, there's like such a pattern.
So there's a reason for that too. And if there's similar clusters, that means that there was like strong family bonds. Sometimes that would highlight that because it's similar energy. Like for instance, within my family, we're all over the place. There's some similarities. There's just not a lot of similarities. And for the people who are similar, it's almost like a father then or a mother would have to take on a role where they pass down a similar profession, or they pass down, a house where people are living in the same area together. There needs to be that group mentality for something to just transpire on the life path. So there is reasons for that. Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's great. I was just curious what you thought because I'm such a nerd. I'm always harping on that stuff, and nobody in my family cares. They just look at me like I'm crazy.
It's not as, I would say it's not as typical always, and I haven't researched that as much, but maybe it's more typical than what I would expect. But there's a reason why you have similar energy persistent throughout the family.
We're going to talk. We're going to have a
numerology.
reading one day.
I would love to, honestly.
Definitely. I mean, it's so interesting, to add to it, Kelly Brickel, I see 444, right? Or people ask 1111, but they have vibration, right? Numbers have vibrations to them. Like 8 is an abundant number. Can you speak on that? Like, why do people see numbers and just maybe a vibration, why are we seeing them as in a series, like 444, 333, 1111?
Yeah, absolutely. Numbers are all around us, and they are vibrational, energetic, and they're also like physical, like addresses, phone numbers, in books. Numbers are everywhere, and so what happens when a certain type of energy is everywhere? Well, spirit and the universe uses that as a calling card to us to deliver messages. Like, hey, pay attention.
Yes.
I'm going to have you see a lot of 2s. I'm going to have you see a lot of 4s. And they'll favor a certain number with you, and that usually has a certain symbology to you as well. But anytime something is repeating, what the universe is saying is, I don't want you to look once. I want you to look twice. I want you to stay on track. And I'm going to show you this to show you that you're staying on track and to validate that you're seeing the same thing, that this is familiar energy and you should pay attention. So it's a calling card to a sign the universe is showing you repeatedly.
Yes.
Wake up with that sign. Because if you just see 1-1, you're just like, oh, that's weird. I'm seeing 1-1. If you're seeing 3 1s, you'll start to pay attention. And if you see 3 1s repeatedly, my gosh, you're really going to be like, what is this? Right. And then it becomes so visceral that there's a certain feeling behind it, and it opens up a certain type of energy for you. It really does, to create, to think, to start talking, to start, right, opening up more energy so you get from A to B. Absolutely.
So we have tons of emails, guys, and we have already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on hold for a call in. So what I'd like to do, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to answer some of these questions because I know everybody's excited because I've been hearing it from everybody. I've been getting messages about how excited they are that you were coming on. So people love you, Kelly.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's awesome. Thank you.
So we have so many questions. I just want to kind of summarize some of the questions. I think you've already answered some of them about repeated numbers. So that was a couple questions. Let's see. Where is it? Here's another one. Repeating numbers again. Okay, hold on. A couple of people want readings, and they've given us their birthdays. So I don't know if you want to do a birthday reading right now, and I can bring up one of these, or if you want to take a call, or you tell me what you'd like to do, Kelly.
I'm up for anything, and with repeating numbers, there's honestly so much to be said on it.
Yes, we could go on a whole show, right?
There's a lot of reasons why it happens. So I just, I just said one thing on it.
Yeah, no, I know you've touched, but there's so much, there's so many questions. Then we have, also I want to remind everybody, we do have a lot of callers calling in, and be patient, because the lines get busy or things like that. And don't hang up on Voice America when they answer Voice America, because we are being hosted on Voice America. They are the radio show that's hosting us, so they will answer with that name. So know that you got the right number when they say Voice America. All right. So let's take a caller real quick. Let's take Tracy. Tracy, are you here with us now? Are you still on hold?
Hello?
Hi, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
Hi.
Do you have a question for Kelly Brickel? Oh, yeah, anytime. Do you have a question for Kelly Brickel, or did you want a reading, or what were you calling about?
I would love a reading.
What kind of reading? So, because we want to get to as many callers as possible.
I mean, just a number reading. I just wanted to see if you could tell me anything about my numbers. I think I'm a life path 4. My birthday is 7/5/1963.
7/5/1963.
Yeah.
Then I'm just doing the math. 1 second.
Happy early birthday. It's almost your birthday.
Thank you.
Happy early birthday is right. Wow. It's coming up. It's right around the corner. So you are a life path 4. Yes, that is true. You're an attitude 3 and a personal day 5. And so you're in a cycle of, and I'll explain what this means. You're in a cycle of 9 too as well. So that's really cool to talk about. So if you have a specific question, let me know. If not, I'm just going to tell you what the numbers are showing me. So Tracy, should I go, or do you have something you wanted to ask too regarding?
So Tracy, you have a specific question that you'd like her to answer, or just that general reading?
Okay. Do you think my number would be good for an animal communicator?
Ooh, good question.
Cool. Okay. So you have an attitude 3, and anytime someone has an attitude 3, as long as they're comfortable, as long as they are emotionally open, they have the gift of gab. They can talk for hours. They're very eloquent. They're funny. They're quick-witted. Again, you have to be in a place where you feel like you are comfortable to open up. But once you can do so, away you go. And so attitude 3 is great for that animal communication, for being a channel, for bringing messages forth, because you have the ability to just open up and be really in the flow with whatever comes to you. So anytime I see a 3 for a person in that placement, they have to be in some type of job where they are using communications. So you're asking about animal communication. So yes, that would be in harmony with some of your aspirations. You have a personal day 5, so you attract all kinds of different people, all types of different people. So, like sometimes weird personalities, like your friends are all different types of personalities. Can you attest to that?
Yes.
Yeah. And so many different types of people gravitate towards you. I've never thought about that with animals. If many different types of animals, personalities would gravitate towards you, that might actually be that too. But what I'm seeing is that you are used to dealing with a lot of different types of personalities, people. Your life path is 4, so it's all about grounding that energy. So as long as you have a schedule, as long as you are centered with your goals and you take care of yourself, you can lead others, and you can help heal others, and you can help heal animals. So the 4 life path is all about finding balance, and it's about temperance. Okay. So what I find with a lot of people who are life path 4, they're either very organized to the T, or they've actually had problems throughout their life where, like, scheduling, or it's almost like food and sleep and just like cycles of our life they're kind of all over the place, and they need to be heavily organized. So organization is that theme. As long as you have that in place within your life, then yes, you are in a place to lead others and help others. You are in a cycle of 9, and when that comes up, what happens is anything that you wanted to do for, and I'm going to attach this back to like the animal communication. If you've been thinking about doing animal communication for 5-10 years, if it's been in the past and you haven't been able to do it, and you're like, is this the year? Is this the year? Then the answer would be, yeah, this is the year that you should really look into spirituality and energy work and opening up your gifts, because the cycle 9 is all about letting go of the past so you can start a new beginning. And it's about like kind of closing chapters and letting go of any anxieties that have inhibited that from you doing that. And I could say much, much more, but there you go.
So I hope that was helpful. Yeah, Tracy, go ahead.
Very helpful. Thank you. I resonate with that, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And just to let everyone know, Kelly, your website again, Kelly Brickel, your website again is energeticsessions.com, energeticsessions.com. And she is going to talk about in a little bit about her upcoming class that she's teaching on numerology. But Tracy, we hope you found that helpful. I mean, that was a dynamite reading. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
I'd like to do one email reading, if you don't mind, Kelly. So Ariel would like to get a breakdown on her birthday. She's fascinated by numerology like me. And her birthday is October 26th, 1991.
October 26th, 1991?
Yes.
Okay.
And just to tell people what you're doing, you're adding everything up. 10 for the month of October. Then you're adding the 2 plus 6, and then adding the 1991 up.
Absolutely. Yep. It's a lot of quick addition. I have tricks to make it go faster. So yeah, I can just like go, but yeah, there's like longhand actually way to do it, and you can get actually more information with some of the numbers. Like for instance, I can quickly pull that she is a life path 2, but if I wanted to add every single number up, I would actually know more information about what kind of life path 2 she was.
Got it. Women, yeah. Interesting.
It is interesting. It's like there's so much. It's so cool. Let me tell you.
Yes.
So Ariel is an attitude 9. She's a personal day 8, and she is a life path 2. Now, there's way more numbers than this. Let me know. For speed readings, I take you 3 of your 6. And I do a cycle usually number. So just to give people an idea that there are many different calculations. Okay. And
Kelly, try to keep your mouth just so we can hear you clearly. Yeah, thanks.
We're having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, we want to hear every word.
For sure. I'm going to put the piece of paper right here.
Yeah. Oh, great. Thanks.
So Ariel is an attitude 9. And so when people are attitude 9s, there is this commonality with what they learn throughout their life with having to establish boundaries. They are natural leaders. They don't think of themselves as leaders, but they are very natural with just helping and being altruistic. So people look to them and go, oh, well, you're able to help, or, oh, you've been always able to kind of figure things out. Can you help me, or can you take on this task? Or if I put this way, you're going to say yes, right? And the attitude 9 usually does say yes, because they go, oh, someone's in need. Why wouldn't I help? So they're very like good natured, and they see the bigger picture, and they just go, well, yeah, it's the right thing to do. And so what happens is they're actually put a lot of times into these manager positions, leadership positions, but they're not being paid for it, because they ended up there because someone was in a stiffer, and the person goes, oh yeah, sure, I'll help out. Okay. So there's this common theme, and I always try to like highlight that whatever you're doing within your life, whether it's friendships, relationships, or even within your job, make sure the person is valuing you for you. Make sure that there was equal give and take, and make sure that you are being respected and that you are feeling like you are getting just as much out of the relationship. It's so important. An attitude 9 too usually highlights that the way that they grew up within their parents, with how they raised them, that they had to be sometimes the one to kind of parent themselves. It's not usually a traditional parenting role to child role with a attitude 9. And the more 9s in a person's chart, the more that furthers itself. So a lot of 9s are old souls, and they had to be from a young age because they had an unconventional upbringing. Okay, so that comes into play. She has a life path 2 as well. So when 9s and 2s are together, it makes for a very sensitive, empathetic person. So that boundary thing is even more important on steroids, because when someone's a life path 2, they have a very sensitive body. Okay, they're more sensitive to sleep. They're more sensitive to food. They're more sensitive to the environment. So
there we go.
Can you hear me?
Barely. It's cutting in and out. I think your mic might be going out.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm right. I apologize. I'm right here. I'm sorry about that. So with their body, they really have to be in tune to what is good and what is not good for them on this clear, sentient, really feeling level. 2s are very sensitive with their feelings and very sensitive with how their bodies operate. The last thing I'll say is she's in a cycle 6. So this is a year where health is really important. And it's in regards to emotional health. Yes, but also physical health. But with the emotional standpoint, you start to have to look at your network, your family and your friends, and who are really there for you at this time, and does that relationship make sense? And I really talk about like cutting the fat sometimes. If this relationship or these people don't resonate anymore, maybe they did 5 years ago, if they don't resonate now or with a family member, just, you know, start start cutting things out of your life that doesn't make sense, or the frequency. Stop cutting the frequency which you see people, like really be in charge of your energy and how people affect you. That's what I give to Ariel.
Thank you, Kelly. Cheryl, should we take another call, or what do you want to do?
Let's take a call, Kelly. Let's take a call.
Okay. So we have Christine on the line. Are you still on hold, Christine?
Yes.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for calling in and holding.
Hi, Kelly, Cheryl, and Kelly. I had asked if my birthday is another Libra, so it's 10/20/70, and I wondered if that has a lot to do where you fall in relationship to your siblings, like those numbers. My sisters are scattered in months, but I always thought there was maybe I tend to be closer to the older sibling, the oldest actually. So I was trying to see if that had to do with the birthday as well.
That is a very good question. And if I can just say the question again, you're asking if your birthday with your numerology is the reason maybe why you're closer to some siblings than others. Is that right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a great question, because a lot of us have siblings, a lot of us have bigger families, or you know, I think it's a great question. Even in a relationship, right? Even with a husband, wife, mother, daughter, you know, parent, child, what have you, friend relationship. So great question. Thanks for asking. So Kelly, how can we help her?
Absolutely. So with, let's say, relationships or family members, what we do is we take your chart and then their chart, and that would actually answer that, because I would look at their birth dates within your birth dates. And if you have more numbers in common or harmonious numbers, it would perfectly explain that. So yes, there is a way to do that. When I look at your chart, I notice that you are a life path 2 as well. Every time I do numerology readings on air, there's always similar people come in with similar numbers. So I'm already starting to see it, right? We already had one attitude 3. We have another attitude 3. It's so cool. Anyway, so you're a life path 2. And so when someone as a 2, they will always be very connected to people. They're the peacemaker of the family. They're very connected to others, very empathetic, very sensitive. So if you do have somebody that you respond to within the family, like you're very, very close. Like it's not you can't do surface relationships. You have to go deep.
That's important.
2s are very, very emotionally connected people, and they can sense the emotion of others. 2 is actually the most psychic number in numerology. Yep.
Good. Never knew that. Learned that today.
Yeah. How do you get 2 from her birthday?
So I take her day, the 20th, plus the 10th. That's 30, her month. Okay. And then I add that to her year.
And that's 70.
Yeah.
So that's 100 or 10, right?
So she's an attitude 3, because her October 20th is like 10 plus 20. So that's like a 30. Yeah. And then her year it boils down to an 8. So
you do the 1, 9, 7.
Yes.
Oh.
You do the 1 and the 9, correct.
So I'm a 2. Okay, so that's interesting. Yes, I wasn't counting the 9, the 1, 9.
And most people are like an 11/2. Not everyone is, but the vast majority of people are 11/2. So master numbers, so that would be 11, because it's a repeating number, 1, 1. Those people who have that master vibration within their chart, they will always kind of want to do more. Like they're not content right? So like with twos, like they always feel like they could be helping. They always feel like they have an idea that they could be working on. They always feel like they could be doing something to offer someone and it could be more. And it's like they're never fully content, but it comes from a really good place of just wanting to make things around them better. Okay. So she's also a personal day too. So on first impression, I would imagine, Christine, if you can kind of think within your memories of how people first met you, you come with like a very like a softer energy. You come in with a gentler energy. So on one hand, people can be very receptive to that because they feel like safe and they feel like, you know, there's like a warmth or a softness about you. On the other hand, people can sometimes think that they can kind of push, you know, an agenda or sometimes be the more dominant personality because you have this softness. Okay, so just know that about you. You can show up with, you know, a little bit more, let me tell you, kind of energy. You can neutralize that, but you do have this warmth to you, you really do. And I can go on and on, but
but you know, you're giving you're also helping her understand that where, like you said, where she's soft, where maybe she could be a little more assertive, or where she could balance that out, or you know, be a little bit stronger here. But just knowing that she's psychic and a number 2, I mean, that blew me away right there. That's great information.
Yeah,
so
that was amazing.
Trust your impressions with people because they're gonna be usually right.
Good advice.
Yes.
Trust, because you're probably a natural, right? If she's a 2, you're a natural. So trust that.
Ooh.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Now I want to know what I am. I don't know what I am. I'm trying to figure it out.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Bridget, or not
Thank
Bridget.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Christine, yeah. So I have a question. We have about 10 minutes left. I just want to know, you don't have to give me a reading. What's my number? 92970. I have to know. I'm like going insane trying to figure it out over here.
Kelly, Kelly Eckhart, what is your birthday so we can all like learn what we're doing here?
929-1970.
Okay. September 29th, 1970.
So what I'm doing is just adding every single digit that she just gave me. I just have a quicker way to do it. Okay?
I get a 1 or a 10. Am I wrong?
Hold on a second. I'm
Sorry.
adding it up. No, I appreciate it. You're lightning quick. I love it. So and then that would be an 8. Yep, you're 1, and you're in a cycle of.
Because you got 37, we added it all together. It was 37. So now you take the 3 and 7 and add that together, and you get a 10, which then you get a 1.
Correct. So in numerology, when you're finding people's numbers or your own number, everything reduces to a single digit.
Yes. Everything reduces to a single digit.
Even master vibrations, you put emphasis on the master vibration. So for instance, if someone's an 11, they're still a 2. It's just they have the 11 energy with the 2.
So what's a 1? Am I at the beginning or something? Am I like
no?
Kelly, you're funny.
That is funny.
Or am I at the top?
Yeah, maybe you're number 1.
Yeah, I'm number 1.
all the numbers are amazing. They really are.
No, I know they are. I was just curious. Well, let's take another caller. You can tell me later because I'm going to get a reading with you. And we're going to do it one-on-one. But let's take another call. Let's take Bridget. She's been holding a while. Hi, Bridget. You with us?
Hello.
Hi, Bridget.
Hi, ladies. Yeah, I'm here.
How can we help you today?
I already know. Well, I was wanting mediumship and seeing if my husband had anything for me this week because I've been working hard on manifestations the last 2 months, and I want to see if he sees anything coming in. But I know my life path is a 6. I learned that a few months ago. It's actually pretty cool how you add it all up, but I don't understand all of it.
Sure. Would you then like me to go into your life path 6?
Yeah.
Okay, because I can do that.
Or did she want mediumship?
We can do it all. Whatever works.
Well, why don't you do that, Kelly? I'd love to see how you incorporate numerology and mediumship. I'm fascinated.
Well, those two don't go together. I would have to.
Come on.
They don't. They don't.
Do you mean my
It's
birthday?
psychic.
I can
It's
give you my
psychic and
birthday.
numerology.
I do. I do.
I wish they did. I
Yeah.
really do. You can use number symbols within your mediumship. Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. But it's separate energy stream. So
Well, go ahead and tune into her number 6 there and tell her what you get, and then Cheryl and I will kind of tune in and see if we can connect with her husband, and we'll
Let's
give
do
her a
that.
quick one afterwards. Okay.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can join you either way. So okay. Can you please, if you are open to it, give me your birth date, or you can just give me your month and
Yeah,
your
it's November 8th. Sorry, November 8th, 1976. Do you need the time? Or
Oh
the...
no. I don't
That's
need the time.
Okay.
I appreciate it though.
That's a good question, though,
That's okay.
Bridget, because sometimes the time would
Yeah.
matter.
Well,
You know.
I had an astrology report done a few months ago, and I didn't realize what it was because I'm trying to learn both, but boy, that's a whole nother level than spirituality, getting into all that. And she sent me a 50 pages, and I had no idea
It's pretty
that's what
amazing.
it was. I mean, it's how the planets align with us and the timing. It's our whole life. Our whole life is like
Amazing.
written out,
It is.
like our contracts. And yeah, it's pretty big. I'm still trying to read through it and understand it, and I can't wrap my head in it.
Just
Well, that's okay. You have amazing people like Kelly here to help you explain some of it.
That's what we're here for.
Go for it, Kelly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so like our life path is to help outline our interests and what we'll consistently always go back to throughout our lifetime. So you'll be just like gravitated to the energy of 6. And so the energy of 6 is a very protective energy. It's a very hardworking energy, and it's a number of families. So you will always be very gravitated to creating a family, either traditionally or non-traditionally. People who have 6s are very protective of their friends. And even in their career, when you like somebody, you're like, come on over, come on by. Like you literally will create like family and groups of people if you like them where you go. And it's that protective number. It's like, come on in, like join the family, join the fun, or it's like, oh, we gotta protect ourselves. We got a little bit of crazy over there. We're protecting everybody. Watch out for that person.
I try to get a little extreme that way. Yeah, I can see that.
I would want you as my friend, Bridget, because you would be a good friend, right, Kelly? She would have our back.
6 friends are so loyal. They're the most loyal. Yeah. It's the ride or die friendship. It really is. You're extremely loyal to the people that you love and care about. And you're an attitude 1. So I want to give that to you too. Like you go to, the beat of your own drum, so it's like, you love cultivating friends and family, but you like being like kind of the leader. And, like you have your opinions and your thoughts, and, you're just like, this is just the way I am. Sorry. I'm going to tell you how I feel, but you do it from such a place of love. You really do.
I'm Scorpio.
Yeah. I was going to say you're intense. Right? You're intense, but it's like,
I am intense. My kids sometimes they're like, "Oh my God, Mom." Yeah.
But it really comes from the best place, even though you're extra. I'm extra in certain categories too. So just have your children appreciate your extra, and I'm sure your friends do. You're in a cycle 3. So the last thing I want to say to you, Bridget, is this is a fantastic year for you. It's in harmony with your life path. This is a perfect year to meet people, to network, to socialize. If you ever want to take a class, if you ever wanted to start a new project, this is the time, because people will flock around and support you. It'll be the easiest time to do it.
That's what I'm trying for. I called on my soul family to see if maybe I could bring that in, because I'm the only one into spiritualism in my family. I'll think I'm nuts, but I'm really on a roll here.
Well, Bridget, I mean, it's such a joy to talk to you today. And I think you are on a roll, and we all feel your loved one around. I'm sorry, we are going to have to end the call with you because we are running out of time. We have just a couple of minutes left.
No.
But Bridget, I mean, you're definitely on a path of, enlightenment. And, I just can tell you're open. You have such an open heart. And we hope you join us again on another show next week. We'll be back.
Yeah.
So please, we'd love to take your
Thank
call
you.
then. And maybe we can at that time also connect with your loved one in spirit. So thank you so much, Bridget, for calling in. We send so much love to you. And Kelly, it's such a great reading you did with her. So thank you for that.
Thank you. It's really the perfect time for her to step out of her comfort zone and take those classes, because she's going to meet new people, and it's going to be so easy for her.
Beautiful. We have just a minute left, everyone. That time flies. We want to thank you, Bridget. Kelly, Brickel. We don't want to go, Kelly Brickel, without you telling us about your upcoming class that you have about numerology. Can you share that with us, please?
Sure, absolutely. So the class that I'm debuting, actually, it's the first time that I'm teaching it, is called Numerology, Reading the Numbers. And it's because I've taught a lot of numerology classes in the past. And really, in order to do numerology, you have to learn of the rules of numerology. There are certain
Guys,
rules.
we have like 30 seconds. So if you want to just make it
I'll be
really
quick.
quick. Sorry.
Okay, I'll be
Sorry.
quick, no worries.
Because they'll just cut us right off and then nobody's going to hear.
You got it. So it takes the basic rules of numerology, but it also teaches you how to apply it in a super fun way. And it's very interactive for people who actually want to learn how to read. And there you go. And it's coming up this
Awesome.
month, later this month.
And how can
Go
people
on.
find you real quick?
Sure. People can find me and more about that class on energeticsessions.com and all the platforms under Kelly Brickel. I'm waiting to say hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for being on our show. I'm going to reach out to you afterwards for my reading, because you and I are going to do something. And next week, we have another show coming up, and we're very excited. So make sure you show up next week for our show, and check out Kelly's show also. And Cheryl, you have anything?
I just want to thank everyone for coming in today. Please join our Seeing Beyond Radio community at seeingbeyondradio.com. We want to thank Voice America and the Empowerment Channel for having us. Guys, these topics we're talking about are just enormous, and we appreciate your time and attention. And we hope all of us are blessed with having Kelly Brickel with us today. Kelly Eckhart, my colleague, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, we'll see you next week on Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. Have a wonderful afternoon.
And how do you say it in Hawaii?
Mahalo and aloha.
Aloha too.
Aloha.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, you're clear, everybody.